Hey guys, welcome back. So I want to talk about a trade here on PTON, Peloton Interactive. Now, I want you to notice the time here, 9:55. This is my group coaching room on Skype where, I go through and I review all of my students' homeworks. We talk about trades. I share trades, they share trades, etc., etc. So, here's a stock I posted. This is what I posted in the room, and you can see the time of the day. Short Peloton swing trade with July 30 puts. And this was when I took the trade here. We look at the actual chart. We can see that, let me just close that. We can see that this is where I posted the trade, and it just fell all day long from 123 all the way down to 119. And it was a great trade, and I want to kind of explain the trade. Why did I take the trade, and exactly what was my thinking. Now, to understand this trade, you have to understand a little bit about liquidity, and you have to understand a little bit of order flow, and I'll try to explain it as best I can. So here's the Peloton chart. Now, Peloton went crazy after the pandemic hit, and it went ballistic because gyms were closed, and this was going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. And I always thought this stock was massively overpriced. And whether you like it or not, paying whatever it is, $1,500 or whatever it is for a stationary bike and a video to watch somebody, okay, like I'm not saying it's good or bad, but to my mind, you can go and buy a bike for like $200 and you can drive around your neighborhood all day long and get a tremendous amount of exercise. So to my mind, this was just an overvalued, overhyped situation. I never understood it, but that doesn't matter. My opinions don't matter. What matters is what the stock price does. So when Peloton went up, made this deep retracement, made a new high, and you can see it's been on, since really the pandemic has started to slow down, it's been on a slow descent where it's given back quite a bit of value from its highs. You can see it was down almost 52% off of its highs, and I think that's a significant retracement. So seeing this morning where we rallied up here, and in particular what I was looking at was this little grab right here of liquidity. Right here, we took out that topside liquidity, and there was rejection. There was heavy rejection twice off of this level. Once, right? Twice, and now we're back up at this level again. So, I still believe that this stock is massively overvalued, and by this 50% drop, it's showing me that there are sellers that agree with me, at least in the long term. The higher term sellers are agreeing with me. So taking a short here today was based off of my overall fundamental price action reading of what I thought the stock was going to do. Now, also, some of you may notice this pattern here. It's a very famous pattern that a lot of traders talk about, and it's one of the very, very few patterns that, I'm just going to draw it out here as soon as I get the tool here. It's one of the few patterns that actually has statistical relevance. Anybody recognize that pattern? Right? Now, it's a beautiful head and shoulders. Now, you could argue that the head and shoulders broke down here, but what usually happens in my mind in a strong bull market, a bearish head and shoulders will often do that, where it'll break down, fake out all the traders, and you can see here when it broke down through there, it pulled in a massive amount of short sellers, and it was actually after earnings, and then it just slowly grinded back up and picked up that liquidity. So it cleaned out bottom side liquidity, took out top side liquidity, and now I believe it's making its way back down here. Now what I actually did was, to me, this was just whenever I can get like a really good return in one day, my risk on this trade was very small. You can see where I have my stop loss. So I made 1-to-1 on my money on this trade in like right away, and you can see here that I posted in the room that I took off some of the position here. My opening price was $41.15 and my closing price was $54. So that's the Peloton Head and Shoulders pattern. I want to repeat, I am not a big pattern guy, meaning Head and Shoulders flags, that type of stuff. Statistically, they have never been proven to be true. So one of the ones that has been proven to be true, though, is a Head and Shoulders. And this one was a failed Head and Shoulders with a retest. Great little trade. And if you like what I'm doing and you want to learn how to do these more advanced trades and you want to be part of my group, please head on over to my website and sign up for my one-on-one coaching. Okay, thank you all. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Love you all. I really probably, in hindsight, looking at it right now, I probably should have held this trade to at least this lower liquidity down here, right? At least to this level down here. I probably should have held it. I'm probably going to regret it because this is probably going to be worth about, 4x what I paid for it. And in hindsight, but we're still in a strong bull market. So taking profits on a short in a strong bull market is never a bad idea. Love you all. Bye for now.